evening, and welcome everyone back to another episode of the Love Speak podcast, where our goal is to get love right. I'm your host, Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV, always with the baddest of the baddies, Billy Badass Joe.
Hey world.
How you feeling this evening, baby?
I'm feeling pretty good. My day was busy and productive, so I'm a little tired, but I'm feeling great about this. How you feeling?
Hey, I'm feeling great and good as always. And I'm especially feeling great about this conversation tonight because we got a little spicy conversation
Okay.
tonight. It's gonna
Okay.
yeah, it's gonna get a little dicey, a little spicy. And man, everybody at home, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to smash that like button. And tonight's topic is about open relationships.
Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo.
So you know what we want y'all to do. We want y'all to tell us what you think in the live chat and let your love speak in the comments. So before we get into tonight's questions, we're gonna pay some bills real quick and we're gonna come right back with the love speak Q&A. So go and get your drink, get you whatever you need, because this conversation is going crazy tonight. I'm telling you, we be right back.
This whole publication is all about going from nowhere to somewhere, right? Being able to stand on something so that you can travel in peace, right? So bksoulfarm.com, 1016 160 self-sustainability. Jump on the list and get yourself together, right? Because it is irresponsible to not even know what responsibility means. So get yourself together, food, clothing, and shelter, protection of that, support your interests, and live.
Some say that art imitates life, but we say that life is art. So visit the DB Chef TV gift shop and get 15% off of your next masterpiece of fashion. How do you get there? Simply tap the link in the description. Exchange insights Sundays at 8 p.m. East Coast time with the Cigar Panel, smoking on words like two big nerds, hosted by DB Chef TV and BK Soul Farm at Cigar Sundays on YouTube. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so when they go live, you never miss an episode of Cigar Sundays Live.
Fans in the Stands is gaining momentum thanks to our viewers. Our crew bring the facts with humor, keeping our viewers entertained and laughing. Join us each and every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's Fans in the Stands on YouTube.
At the Veteran Kettle Podcast, we thank you for your service, support, and sacrifice to our country. Listen to real stories of adversity and triumph as we give our best to honor our vets. Subscribe today and watch episodes now streaming on YouTube at TVK Podcast, The Veteran Kettle. Love ain't always easy, and we won't stop until we get it right. So bring that ass to the Love Speak Podcast. Subscribe today and let your love speak at TLS Podcast. The Love Speak, now streaming on YouTube. Sign up for the newsletter and shop merch and clothing at www.dbcheftv.com.
And we back, and we back, and we back. Links are in the description, y'all, for all of that good stuff we got going on at the DB Chef TV network right now. If you just joining us, make sure to smash that like button, y'all. And we are talking about open relationships. And we're going to go ahead and get into tonight's actual questions. So, our first question is, why do you think people choose open relationships versus monogamous? 2, what challenges do you think people face in open relationships? 3, what boundaries do you think are set in open relationships, if any? 4, are there any rewards with being in open relationships? And now, fifth and final question, last but never least, does an open relationship challenge traditional views of love and commitment? Let us know what y'all think in the comment section as you let your love speak and as we have this conversation tonight, y'all. So our first question, why do you think people choose open relationships versus monogamous ones? Billy Badass Joe, let us know.
It's a really good question. That's a really, really good question. Unfortunately, I don't have one distinct answer because I think there will be a plethora of reasons why someone would choose a open relationship versus a monogamous relationship. Um,
Pick one and go. Any one of them.
oh my goodness, the first one is going to be so vile, but maybe because they just greedy. I don't know. That's
Cause
one
they
of them.
just greedy. Okay.
I'm gonna go with that for
Okay.
starters, but I know that's not the one and only situation.
Okay.
The
But
second
why they
reason,
hold up though. Hold up though. Why they greedy? Why they greedy?
I mean, I would only assume that having a partner, and if you're really into them as far as them in life and the better of the outcome, you would already have enough of a job to do. But maybe that one partner doesn't suffice as enough. So you might need another partner for a different sector of life to be fulfilled. Like this partner might be for sexual purposes. This partner might be for mental and mind stimulation. This partner might just be a good housemate as far as cooking, cleaning, finances. Like there's so many different reasons I would assume somebody would choose an open relationship over monogamy.
Wow.
Um,
Okay, hold up though. We gotta bust some of that down though. So we got somebody for loving.
mhm.
All right. We got one person to live with, to cohabitate with, but they ain't getting no loving, obviously.
They might get a
Okay.
rollover and a stroke. That's about it.
A rollover and a stroke. Damn. And then and then you got somebody else for emotional and mental support. So that's
Yeah.
the person that you talk to. So the person that's in the house, let me get this right. The person that's in the house that we live with, we ain't talking to them. We don't go to them for mental, emotional support. We don't even go to them for intimacy. All right. But they did, but I guess they cleaning, they pay bills, they
They keeping your house well
they
kept.
take the trash out. So they like a maid, basically. Okay. They housekeeping. All right. So and then we got the other person who we call to talk shit about that person when they doing something wrong for the mental support and everything. And we talk shit to the other person about the mental support when the person who we being intimate with ain't ain't acting right too.
Okay.
So that's a three piece, right? So that's very open. That is very
That
open.
is very open with a
So
biscuit.
let me ask this: does the mental person get some goodies every get to bite the cookie every now and then?
You know, honestly, I can't answer these questions verbatim only because this is not my circumstance. But
In the
from
theoretical,
okay, theoretically, I got this going two ways. Theoretically, I got the one in the house getting everything. Okay. Like, I don't know if this is the man or the woman that is more of the actively open one or if it's equal parts on both sides. But theoretically, one way would go the person inside, both people inside the house pour into each other, but they understand and know that their partner or significant other is going to veer out and look around for other things because maybe the person that's in the house, they may be too regular. They may be safe. They may be so your partner might say, I want you for my significant other, but I also want somebody else that's a little bit more exciting in life to me, that feels a little bit more dangerous, possibly for lack of better terms. So you could be loving your husband or your wife down in the house and treating them how they feel like they deserve to be treated. You know, y'all working together financially. One person is doing the cooking, the other person is doing the cleaning. Like, I don't know how that may look, but even if it's going good inside the crib, they're still going to go outside of the crib. Now, if the second in line gets as much attention as the first person in line, I don't really know how that works, but I'm pretty sure the attention that is paid to each partner is different because they all serve in different purposes. And I don't even think the sex necessarily would have to be better or worse with one other partner, because a person that is in a open relationship, they have their partners for their purposes. So if the purpose is being fulfilled, I would imagine that your partner automatically is going to be turned on for the fact that you fulfilling the purpose that they got you there for. So with that being said, you might be sexing all three of them just equally if all three of them doing their job properly.
Hmm. Okay. Now, you said something. You said something. You said regular. Can you put that in term? What is regular? What is that? What is when it's regular? Because I'm under the impression that regular is good. Actually, regular
Yeah.
is if you can get regular, then you are winning.
Yeah, like regulation, regular,
No,
like
no, 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 no.
normalcy.
No, not regulation. Like regular. You said, and I just I'm not picking at it, but I want to make sure that we clear it that we clarify. I'm asking you for clarification in the context when you just like somebody at home might have something that's regular and they need more. So I'm like, so what is the regular
Okay, that was when I
versus
used that was in conjunction to the term of being safe, or saying then you go
yeah,
outside the house
yeah.
and you find something dangerous, for lack of better terms. A regular situation is not necessarily a bad situation. It looks like a pattern. It has a time frame that you can assume or guess things on. You almost know what this person will and won't do. Like, it's more of like a regime
Consistency?
consistency. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
and
All
it's
right.
not,
Okay.
I'm not using that
Okay.
term to use it negatively or as if it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, for the sake of what I'm comparing it to, inside the house might be regular, routine, consistent. And that's why I use the word regulation, because it's like a system, a pattern, like you know what's going to go on. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Now, that feels good probably to have a person like that. That probably feels like security, and in a lot of people's eyes, in some people's eyes, is good, but they're lacking something, with that regular situation that
They don't like it. They don't like regular. They don't appreciate
they don't
regular.
appreciate regular. They might like
Okay.
it because it feels good and safe, but appreciating it is a whole nother tune, because if they appreciated it, I don't know how, you know,
How you
oh,
appreciate something and then you go smashing
yeah,
something else
yeah, yeah, yeah,
outside the
yeah,
house,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay. That's what I because because regular when we look at it, it's like what you try to get consistency
yes,
in all things,
yeah,
um if I have uh effective communication, I want it to be regular. you
mm-hmm,
know if i
mm-hmm,
have um if I have intimacy, I want it to be you know regular. I want it, whatever that feeling is that we get from it,
right,
I want it to be regular. I
mm-hmm,
want it to be mutual, the
mm-hmm,
desire to be mutual. So that's regular. you
right,
know it's irregular. I'm looking at it like it's irregular when somebody goes outside and they not satisfied with this, whatever it is they desire,
yeah,
whatever they feel like they're not getting at home
yeah,
or in their monogamous relationship, then they plot a course to open it up.
yeah,
And usually that sounds like, you did say at one point that that they could communicate. And that's a difference. I'm thinking, like, if people communicate and agree. But let's be honest, like, how many people do that shit? Like, how many people say like, okay, you know, unless that's just part of the culture now,
mm,
that is a normal thing, which I think it is, because people have these things called rotations.
yeah,
And then you know which young ladies have been doing for years now. It's just now, and
you too,
guys have been
man,
doing it, but now it's more like of a cultural norm. It's not like just
mm-hmm,
that one guy who was a player or that one girl who was just everybody want. So everybody trying to get her, everybody shooting their shot. So she like, okay, well, let me just see what you got, I'm see who, see who gonna spend the most money to get it, or who gonna do the most for it, because she getting the attention. Now it's just like it's so many that it's like, oh, girl, yeah, oh, he gonna buy you a bag, yeah, but your
Yeah.
breath stink.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, or
Yes, that's very much the tune of it.
you know what I'm saying? So it's like if this, since that's the culture now, you
Yeah.
know, um, the open relationship style, it seems like more people, guys. I don't think I don't, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Like I don't think guys without no money have that as an option.
You're wrong,
You,
actually.
I'm wrong. Okay,
It
so
used to be
school
like
me.
a rich man sport, but that's more like cheating now. But open relationships, which to the world and viewers, an open relationship is not a cheating relationship. This is where two parties have knowingly agreed that each other are seeing individuals outside of the, the one that were your significant other.
Right, or what they got going on.
Yeah, so let's not get the two confused, because that open relationship is not cheating.
Okay.
Yeah.
But definitely they are confused to what regular is, because we had a whole show about regular, and that was just like wow, like um if you can get regular from someone,
Yeah.
man, you are winning. If you can get
Yeah.
regular from anything, you're winning.
Yeah.
But because we put a meaning on the word regular, and now it has all these different meanings to it, like I don't want no regular car.
No
I don't want,
regular, right.
yeah, I don't want no regular this. I don't want no regular that. I don't want no regular job. I don't want no regular food. I don't, all these things have a meaning. And when you actually go and look up the definition, not asking Siri or Alexa, what does the word regular mean,
Right.
but asking it, what is the definition of the word regular? Then you
Yes.
get a whole different application for the word.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now I would think if a person was to do that, that they would actually develop an affinity for the word and desire to have more regularity in their life. Just
Yeah.
like taking a shit, you want to be regular, right?
Yeah.
So if you ain't
Yeah.
regular, yeah, if you ain't regular, like you constipated,
You having a bad day until you relieved.
So I don't get how people could want to be regular taking a shit, but then in a relationship they only regular ain't enough for them. That's wild.
Yeah.
But
Regular definitely has the word itself, definitely when it comes to relationship aspect, definitely has a negative connotation attached to it. But like you just said, if you're able to apply the word regular in other areas and it's a benefit, why not in your relationship? Wouldn't you want to have regular? Like, I understand having more than regular or having more than the basic, but I think if you have your baseline at regular, you'll go healthily above that. You know, you're
I think once you set that new one, it's regular.
right, exactly.
Yeah,
I,
once you set that new one, it's regular.
yeah.
Yeah. So like
Hmm.
the baseline is your starting point. Yeah. But I'm like, but
Hmm.
you still want that to be regular. You want the
Right.
baseline to be regular. Then when you elevate to
Yep.
whatever your next elevation is, you
Yeah.
want because you're looking for what was the correlating word? Consistency.
Consistency. Yeah. Yeah. And then there's another thing that you said that I wanted to touch on, because literally just like within the last 24 to 48 hours, I seen something that kind of like reference with the comment you just said. Like, nowadays people, the open relationship used to seem like it was for, like, of a higher patency, and I'm like, nah, even somebody broke now was doing that basically. But like, I had seen on social media where it was a elder couple that was like just showing examples of love. Like, I don't know if they were like walking through the park holding hands, or they were dancing. No. It was an older couple redoing a photo shoot for their marriage, and the chemistry during a photo shoot was just so beautiful. Like you could feel the love. Like we don't even know them, but like we know they love each other just by their chemistry that was caught on camera during the photo shoot. And some of the comments underneath of it was like, that's so unfortunate that the newer generations will never know nothing about this. Like will never experience that type of love, or because the new regular, the new normalcy, like we're talking about, is okay to have, multiple partners and again, who are we to say right from wrong? I feel like we just so happen to be in an age bracket where we are old enough to have witnessed a whole different tune of appropriate love versus now what they consider like appropriate relationships, or what the normal or standard is. So,
Yeah, yeah,
you
that's
know,
true.
I have another reason as well. If you want to know why I feel like other people choose open relationships as
I
well.
do. I do. Go ahead. Let us know.
Okay, so there's a term called crop sharing that was brought to my attention by elder woman about a couple of weeks ago. I was on her front stoop having like a general conversation. I love interacting with people of different walks of life, different races, different ages. So during one of these times, I asked her, like, has she ever been married? Do she want to be married again? Like, what are her desires? And which is odd enough that this is a lady from a older generation that is using this term when I just said that we got more of a one-on-one love approach, or at least that was what was presented to us from elder people back in the day. But here goes a little insight behind closed doors, is that crop sharing. And I say, why you want to do that? And then she say, well, that's when the man has more than one woman, and trust and believe the woman can have more than one man too. And I said, but I still don't understand what the purpose is behind it. And she was like, because do you want to take on all the responsibility by yourself? And I said, the responsibility of me? She said, no, that's going to be taken on by the men in your life, the responsibilities you got to deal with. I'm asking you, do you want to take on a responsibility of a man full time? And I said, dang, you put it like that. I mean, they are a lot but I'm thinking I could manage it. It'd be okay. And she say, you got one to come over here to fix the sink for you. And then he could go home to his wife, who gonna have to wash his drawers and lay on her back and all this other stuff. So the point that I'm getting at is that some people choose open relationships, not necessarily to delegate a task, but because having the responsibility of a full time can be overwhelming for some people, is what I've learned.
I get that. I get that. I think no disrespect to the old lady. I think it's been some old hoes out here.
For
So,
sure.
you
She
know what I'm
definitely
saying?
did.
So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I ain't knocking, I ain't knocking her style, but crop sharing, huh? Like that's some new shit. That is some
Hey, but
old
she
new
took me
shit.
back when I
And
heard that.
she said he gonna come over there and fix the sink, right? Just like having somebody come over there and fix the grass. But it's a difference when he come and fix the sink and you paying him. Okay? It's a difference, and I'm talking about paying him in currency. I ain't talking
Right. I
about
was about to say,
paying
I'm
him
pretty sure she
in
was
cheeks.
paying.
Okay? I ain't talking about paying in cheeks or with, some sexual favors. I'm
Right.
talking about it's a difference when that's just the guy that and he's a plumber and he ain't coming to fix your sink. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yes.
Or to mow your lawn in those senses. If he coming to cut the grass, if he coming to paint something, if he coming to do something, that's the handyman. That's usually Mr. So and so, and you ain't got to screw Mr. So and so. You got to pay him.
Mm-hmm.
But you're gonna recommend him to other people as well because his work is good as far as the things that you need that you pay him to do. So I get that. But if you know, but if you old hoe and
You
you
oh
know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
I
Yeah,
said what
and
you
you
describe as a handyman, that ain't what she talking about. She talking about that man husband that she don't gotta cook dinner for 7 nights out the week, but she can cook him dinner one out of them 7 nights, and that's the same night that he coming over fixing his sink.
that's what I'm saying. So like
Yeah.
yeah, like he's stepping out on his marriage too.
Yeah, but back then, from her terms of it, it wasn't called open relationship. It was called crop sharing because it was you knew that man had a wife, and that wife of his knew that he had a girlfriend, and it was don't be going over there acting crazy and violating, the rights of the relationship when everybody's in tune to what's going on. And the reason for that back then was just the responsibility upkeep. It seemed like.
So we could say so it's safe for us to agree tonight on the show on the Love Speak that let's see our question. Why do we think people choose open relationship versus monogamous? It's safe to say that this has been going on for a long time. There's always been hoes, right? There's always been people hoeing. So it ain't nothing new. It got a different face on it, different name change on it, right? They done put some sauce on it now.
Yeah.
And even then, with its names like crop sharing or this or that, whatever the little cultural names was for
Open relationship, swinger, or whatever it is.
swingers, a player. We seen different names. A Mac, this, that, a gigolo, a hoochie,
A Jezebel.
a Jezebel,
A hoochie, hoochie coochie.
la la la. Remember that song? Hoochie coochie, la la la. That was
Now
the
we
shit.
got Sexy Red out talking about it.
She talking about this pink and this brown. Like,
Is it
damn.
what?
Like, so I mean, who needs love in a place where it's
Yeah,
just pink and it's
right.
brown? Like, okay, how do I get to show me the the yellow brick road? How we get there?
Yeah, right.
So you gotta be
So we get
careful
marriage
saying
to
that.
your
Somebody might try to pee on you. So,
right. As I say, how do we get through marriage through your brown asshole? Like,
man. So it's definitely one of them things where it's like it is definitely a choice, but you made some very, very valid and great points as far as people wanting to have variety, um and then people being in places where they're not happy with the things that they have, so they need to have this toy, that toy, this toy, that toy, this toy, that toy. And it's so crazy because I know that there are some like a lion has a pack of in the pride, a pack of women, a pack
women,
of in the not a pack of women, but a pack of lionesses, right?
yes.
In the pride, and it seems like people try to take on that type of, and now the women have become like the lion, to have a pride of males, have taken on that role. But then we also see things like geese, like they'll find a mate and they forever.
Forever. Oh, that's so beautiful.
Dolphins, they like the same way too.
Yes, they are.
Whales like the same way. So, we see that like in nature, we do see similarities to human activity, but we kind of supposed to be above it,
Right.
But
Because even to your point of the lion pack and the lioness, I mean, isn't it just amazing how when you think of an open relationship, and this might sound what's the word when you do something based on sex, like a man or a woman? This might sound what's the word I'm looking for? When somebody
you say based on your
sex, like somebody might say something to you like, oh, that's chauvinist because you are a man or a woman. Like, Okay, maybe we're
misogynistic.
misogynist. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
So this might sound a little, because I get it. This can go both ways, but hear me out. With the lion and the lioness, it's crazy when you think of an open relationship, because the lioness do majority of in the pack. They're the ones that sent out the hunt. Okay.
Right.
They do killing. They bring it back. They raising them kids when they come back to the cove. It's just like, it's amazing, because when you have a man that has an open relationship, it's like he has all these women, all these lionesses doing certain jobs, like I said, to make it so that he is completed. Now, I don't want to sound chauvinist, because I know that there are women who fulfill the role of the man lion, and got a whole bunch of men out here acting like lioness too. So I'm not disputing that. But I do think that, like you just said, for us to be able to take, because there's plenty of men that actually do use that too, that actual example of, the setup for a relationship where, the man in the lion of the jungle, and this is that and the third. And it's just kind of like you just said, shouldn't we be above it? Or why are you taking that approach to nature, but you're not taking the approach of what you just said, as far as the dolphins finding each other, the geese, and being monogamous for a lifetime?
Yeah, and starting a family, and and trying to have those values, because the lions and the pride works together.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so they start a family and they cultivate it all together.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, oh yeah, I'm smashing this joint, I'm smashing that joint, I got this over here, I got that one over there. It ain't none of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a roster.
Right. It's not a roster. It's an open relationship.
Right. And they are having sex to procreate. They not having sex for recreation.
Well, now you're right. And now I kind of
So
feel stubbed on my own words, because it's like I almost was not for that approach, but now I'm sitting here thinking about it, and maybe that approach do work for some people, because they say it take a village. So if it's a whole bunch of women in the pack, or and they all having kids, and they all pitching in, I guess if that works for them, who are we to?
For the lions, nah, that don't work, because how about all these deadbeats out here with like 8 baby mamas, and they ain't taking care of their kids?
That's my point. Yeah, so
You
it
know
don't
what I'm
work.
saying?
Like I
So
said, I'm standing what I believe in.
yeah, so the village ain't, that I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you would
that
think.
ain't much of a village. That's just sound like, somebody who like varieties, the spice of life. So they got a whole bunch of kids, and the kids would be all right. They'd be okay.
Right.
I was okay. Look, I ain't have a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, I thought, isn't the genuine thing that people want their children to have better than they did, not
Right.
endure the same struggles that they did? But what
So
do I know? I don't have no babies, so I'm just saying, if I
Right.
did though, I would want my child to have a way better life experience than I did as a child. Not that mine was bad. I appreciate it, and
Right.
but
Right. I'm with you. Yeah.
but it's some things that it's like Pearl did that. You don't gotta go through that.
You don't gotta go to, yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So moving on to our second question tonight. Let us know what y'all think in the comment section out there, and go ahead and smash that like button. We appreciate it. What challenges do you think people face in open relationships?
Okay. Simply, the easiest answer I can come up with is jealousy.
Jealousy.
Yeah.
Okay. You think that's the biggest challenge, jealousy?
You know what?
What if they don't know though? What if you got a master liar, and they just able to juggle and smuggle?
Now we going back to cheating. That's not an open relationship.
But it could be because because they lying to somebody. They not.
Yeah, they lying to somebody. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think jealousy.
All open relationships. So all open relationships require that established ground rule. All open
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I already know where you're going with this. Some women are in open relationships and they don't know it because their man ain't informed them yet. But yes, for there to be a fair, open relationship, no cheating, both parties need to understand that it is a open relationship. I don't know if the door is open for both of them to go have multiple partners, but each other have an understanding that either A, my partner can go outside, or B, my partner can go outside, or A, my partner's going outside even though I can't. You know, like it's a understanding. There is no sneaking about it, you know.
So it's not sneaky, okay.
Yeah, it's not, it to me it's not sneaky. I mean, I don't know how it works. I don't know if every time you leave your crib to go to your other your other partner, if you flat out tell them, hey, I'm about to go chill with Sarah for a little while, or hey, I'm about to go kick it with Bob for a little while. I don't know how that works, or if you just kind of like have an understanding you're not the only one. Don't try to not co-manage, but what's the word, micromanage the relationship and ask me who I'm with and when I'm with them. Just understand that there's other people outside of you and I. I don't know how it works.
Whew, that's
Yeah.
so cool. Look, don't be asking me who I'm with, when I'm with them, where I'm at. Okay, when I'm with you, I'm with you. All right, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then when I'm not with you, I'm minding my business, doing whatever else I do.
Yeah.
Okay, baby.
Okay,
Okay.
baby. And an example, a prime example. I wish that I would have known, I would have thought about this prior to, because I would have keyed up the scene from the Jennifer Lopez movie Enough. Okay. The movie came out over 10 years ago, but there was a scene in it where she was made aware that she was in an open relationship. Now, whether she agreed to it is a different story. But after he smacked her to the ground, he picked her up and held her by her face and let her know, her husband, okay. Now, mind you, he just smacked her to the ground for her confronting him about another woman that she found, whether it be email, text message, phone call, I can't recall. But after he picked her up and told her don't go through his shit no more, he let her know he's leaving. He's about to go see Sarah, and he'll be back later on tonight.
So
So
where that little thing I like when I get back.
wear that little thing I like. Exactly. I wish I could have remembered this. It is so crazy how this scene fits perfectly into what we talking. So at that point, she could get herself up off the ground and decide that, I'm a woman that's in an open relationship and now I got to deal with it. Or you could do what she did, which was, deviate from the relationship. But the reason why I use the term jealousy is because human nature, even if you agree to the open relationship, women, I'll speak for them because I am one, there's certain times of the month where I might be a little bit more emotional than I would at other points in the month. So during that visitation of the monthly cycle, I may want to be held more, I may want more affection, I may need more time and attention, or whatever the case may be. But if my significant other and his other girlfriend got something planned around that time of the month, yeah, it's normal for me to understand that he's having time with somebody else. But at that particular time in the month, what about me?
What about you? You useless right now. They got something planned. Of course they got something planned. She ain't got, you know what I'm saying, that thing going on right now. So
Baby, that thing ain't never stopped nothing but a sentence. A period ain't
oh
never
man,
stopped nothing but a sentence.
dirty.
So with that being said, it's
Dirty.
almost like, but that's just one example. It don't even have to be like your period. It don't even have to be that. It could be, let's say there is a event coming up in the city or something like that, an all black tie event. And
Okay.
it's a +1, bring a +1. It's like, how does he determine who he bringing?
Well, I would think as a guy, you would think of, who you want to sport that evening.
Mm-hmm.
And who you probably going, because I don't know, maybe since it's an open relationship, right? And going off what you were saying, these variables, the theoreticals, like you got this one for emotion, you got this one for that. So maybe the guy's like, well, she real fine. when I take her out, a lot of people look at her. You know, she real
Yeah.
photogenic. She the prettiest out of them
Yeah.
all, out of his roster or lineup, whatever it is. Okay, so she the prettiest. So I'm gonna sport her. All
Mm-hmm.
right,
Mm-hmm.
but then when I get off, I'm calling Keisha.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But when I'm gonna drop her off, though, I'm not gonna spend the night with her. You
Right.
know, I'm leaving after that, but I'm gonna sport her though.
Right. That
You
sounds
know,
about right. You ever did this before?
I'm just saying I
Oh.
seen it in a movie
Oh.
like the Jennifer Lopez movie before,
Yeah.
because it's theoretical.
No, for
But
real though. But that does make sense because you're right. If they picking multiple people to be with, each person has a purpose, I'm pretty sure, for them. So I can see how that could go.
yeah, because if you got a lineup and you got somebody that's not athletic or into sports, you might have a girl that's into sports, so you take her to the game.
Right, 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 right.
You know, you're not gonna take somebody who like to, Netflix and chill to the game.
Right, right. I get what you're saying. That makes sense.
Cause that's what she likes. She like to cook, be in the house, Netflix, chill. You know, she don't
Yeah.
want to go to the game.
Right. Right, right, right. Hmm.
You know, but I think that you can find a person that likes to do all of that. That likes to go to the game. That like to go out to the bar, have a drink.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That likes to go on vacations and trip.
Mm-hmm.
That likes to Netflix and chill and cook.
Yep.
That likes to just go to the park or the carnival,
Mm-hmm.
and do little wacky stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like go to the carnival. You might be too big for the rides, but you can play games and shit
And
like
eat the
that
food. Right.
and eat the food. Like
Yeah.
I do think that you can find a person like that.
I believe that too, and that's probably why we choose monogamy over open relationships.
Yeah, I can't afford it. I can't afford
Yeah.
it. I can't
I
afford I
Even
can't
if I
afford
could afford it financially, I don't know if I could afford it mentally or
I,
emotionally. Like I
I
don't
don't
want
I
to be,
don't know.
yeah. Cause
Yeah.
even that alone is like for a person that picked multiple people to be with. I mean, God, dang. Like not even talking about holidays and all that petty stuff, but just getting like honing the personality of a person, knowing the like with their love language, learning them, learning the things that they do and don't like. Um, it's like to do that with four people,
Or
it
5 or 6 or 7 or
or
8 or 9 or
seven,
10.
yeah. Because at
You
some
know.
point somebody getting slighted.
Yeah, yeah, you can't. It's no way you could pour the same amount of energy into everyone. I mean, now you could do it on different days,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why I said I can't afford it, because one, I love being married. I love having my wife, having what we have,
Mm-hmm.
and having that person, having your person,
Mm-hmm.
you know, having your like they say down in the A, your twin.
Yeah.
So I love having that. The thing is where I say jokingly, like I can't afford, but seriously, like I can't afford it, because you look how much energy you have to put into that. That's why I was thinking, like, I always thought that was reserved for, like, you know, really, really wealthy individuals,
Mm-hmm.
where like that lion pride type mentality, where we here in Africa, where the a wealthy man has multiple wives, and in having to, he can provide everything. Like if he could buy one a house, he could buy all of them a house. If he buy one a
Exactly.
car, he could buy all a car. If he gonna make a child with one, he gonna give all of them a child.
Exactly.
When he go get the groceries, everybody got food. And then they still all come together, and and if he gonna buy one a ring, he can buy all of them a ring, and he gonna buy one a bracelet. She get a tennis, she get a tennis, she get
Yeah.
a Chanel, she get a, you know.
Yeah.
So, but if one get a bag, everybody get a bag.
Everybody gets a bag.
Yeah.
You get a bag, and you get a bag,
get
and
back.
you get a bag. On my Oprah.
Right. Right. Look underneath your chairs, wives.
Right. We all got keys.
You know, everybody get a Rolls Royce. You can't even just get, you know, like, you bought me a Benz and you bought that bitch a Rolls.
Sidebar. What was Oprah doing that year? Did she need to do a tax deduction or something?
It's always a tax deduction when you have a show and you do giveaways like that. So I mean,
Yeah,
that was
'cause
just
I'm
good
like,
business.
wow,
And
shit.
it encouraged people to want to come to the show. You know, if
Yeah,
you
I was
know
about
you're
to say
going to
that.
the
Yeah.
show, you know, if we was having this show and it was gifts and shit under everybody's seat, who gives a shit about subscribers and all that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like every time they show up, they know they're gonna get something. They're gonna be buying. You could sell tickets.
Right. I
You
might give
know?
me a car. I'm gonna buy that
Yeah.
$30 ticket.
What? Yeah, they're gonna show up because they know they're gonna get something. You know, they're gonna be
Yeah.
able to join in the conversation. Well, not necessarily because it's interviews. They'll come and sit and listen to us talk just to get the free shit.
Yeah.
Like when you go on vacation, sidebar real quick. Like when you go on vacation and they ask you to come to the little the timeshare
Shit.
things, and they be like, "We'll give you $250 for your time." You be like, "Man, we gonna go get that shit real quick."
I'm about to go give me that free lunch.
Yeah. That's all they gotta do is offer you something in exchange for your time. And most people gonna bite.
Most people won't bite down. But let me ask you, hold on, before we move on, what do you think the most challenging part is that people face in open relationships?
Oh man. Um Damn, jealousy was good. I think trust.
Oh, damn.
I
That's
think trust.
good.
I think trust. And the reason why is because, and I'm just, you know, pulling this shit out the sky, because at some point in time, I don't think that because there's no commitment to any one person, that you're gonna lie. You're gonna forget something you told somebody, something, you know, like, because you're just juggling too much. Because I'm like, okay, if you got six, let's just say you got 6 or 7 different women that you're dealing with. I'm gonna say 4. Let's not even go 6 or 7. You know, I just know I'm extra handsome. So if I was in fantasy land, I might need one
Right.
for every day of the week. So
Right.
let's just say if you got 4, okay, then you're going to forget something that you told somebody, even if, you know, what was the name? Sarah, Amy, Michelle, you know,
Kelly.
Tamika, Kelly, whoever, you know, like whoever,
Yeah.
you're going to forget something because you just are too, and then you have your responsibility of what you have to do, like for yourself, to keep yourself fresh, to keep yourself maintained, to keep yourself paid, to be able to go and play in these, you know, in these different spaces. Because I'm like, it's different if, because you let me know, like, nah, dudes, it be bums, you know what I'm saying? Like, dudes just be bums. Okay, well, I think even the dude who may be but where he don't have nothing, maybe, you know, his sex game tight, so he putting that down. Okay, I think even he lying about something, you know, because he may have this girl, that girl, this girl, that girl, but at some point in time, the story ain't gonna line up always.
Right.
So there's gonna be something where, even if they agree, even if they say, okay, well, I knew this what it was, they still gonna be like, well, I can't trust them. So, you know, and I don't get it. I don't get how I don't get how you can't trust somebody, but you'll give them your body. You know?
Yeah.
I don't get
Yeah.
that, you know, because it's like, okay, well, you don't trust this person, but you're willing to risk your health, you know, possibly for an orgasm.
Right.
So to
Right.
me, that's wild.
Well, it's people
You
in
know,
monogamous relationships that don't trust their partner and they still giving up that raw, you
but you're in a
know.
monogamous relationship though. Like if you're in a monogamous relationship and you don't trust the person that you with, it's not about the sex. You don't trust them for something else.
Somehow no, yeah.
You know, y'all got other issues. It ain't sex. Is it y'all
Yeah.
got other issues that y'all just haven't discussed, haven't talked about. You know,
Yeah.
that need to be talked about because I'm under the impression that women check out mentally before they check out physically.
Oh, I'm under that impression too.
You know,
Yeah.
so and that's in monogamy.
Yeah, that's the monogamy.
In
Yeah.
monogamy, but with the open relationship, I think the trust. I think that's the biggest difficulty because at some point in time, even with the young lady, she gonna lie, and then she gonna be like, well, why you, blah, blah, blah. You know, like she ain't
Exactly.
gonna, she
Mm-hmm.
just gonna spaz because she don't want to be accountable.
Exactly.
He going, he may just pull up the lie because he still want to smash. He may continue to lie or just be like, well, you know what it was when I got with you, blah blah blah. He may confess, but
Yeah.
just confess without any compassion because
Yeah.
it's just like, you know what this is, you
Yeah.
know.
I agree with you. I was actually getting ready to say that. I was getting ready to say, see, to me, I think trust is a good one to throw out there, but more so for this reason, because if you are agreeing to being in an open relationship and you know that, it's almost like, why don't y'all have trust? Because thank you for being honest with me and letting me know that that's where we're at. So it's almost like, not that I would agree to it, but if I was in that circumstance, I would feel like, okay, we don't have no reason to lie to each other, because the worst part of it all is already on the table. We are seeing other people outside of each other. But I tell you this, for me to be in that bag already, and then for me to find out you lied about something after I already acknowledge and agree to the open relationship, you right, it's done for. You
Yeah,
know,
like
it's
yeah, like the example would be like I just thought of this in my head while you was talking about that, like being done for it, where like, okay, you in an open relationship, you like, yeah, I have sex with other women, okay, or whatever the relationship looks like, I have sex with other people, okay, cool. Now this person says, whoever you communicated that to, being open, letting them know that, okay, yeah, I want to be intimate with you as well, but I also am going to be with other people. Okay, now you tell them, but I use protection when I'm with the other people, right? And then you say, okay, and then that other person says, okay, well, I'm going to use protection when I'm with you, right? But then there's that one time you don't,
mm-hmm,
and then you get burnt,
mm-hmm,
all right? And
mm-hmm,
then you get burnt, and now there goes that lie. Well, I
mm-hmm.
thought you used protection with everybody because
Yep,
you used it with me, and then one time we didn't, but then you
yep,
burnt me.
yep,
So now it's like, okay, and that's what I'm talking about. Where like, that's what I think that trust, that big thing is, where that trust is dangerous
yep.
in open relationships. That's a dangerous thing to be dangling to in an open relationship, thinking that because it's bad enough when you find out you can't trust somebody in a monogamous
In a
relationship.
monogamous relationship, but it's almost like expected a little bit. Not expected, but it's almost like we didn't agree for us to be honest. We agreed because we got into this arrangement monogamously, but I know you're not supposed to be doing nothing. So if you do, my feelings is hurt, but I'm shocked by it. Um, but if I'm giving you the floor and I'm telling you just be open with me and honest with me, and you still not doing that, it's like I can't win for losing. That's how I will feel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. So let us know what y'all think in the comment section. What challenges do you think people face in open relationships? Moving to our third question this evening, y'all. Um, what boundaries do you think are set in open relationships. What type of boundaries do you think people set in open relationships? That's crazy. Let us know what you think in the comment section.
I'm just gonna ride off of like the last example that you gave for question number 2. What are some boundaries? I can imagine that if you're in an open relationship, like you say, maybe one of the peoples in the relationship has a more weight or more presence or is in the hierarchy of the arrangement. And I would say that the boundary may be set that everybody else you're intimate with is protected. I would think that's the boundary.
Yeah, that's crazy though. But you know that'll be so much cap. Ain't nobody doing that.
Ain't
That
nobody
that's
doing that.
yeah. Like like you want to have all that variety with a barrier between you. Nah, you
Exactly.
having your way. So
Yep.
if they cool with it and you cool with it, and then like you was talking about going to the gala, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, or to the show or whatever, to the party or whatever, the all white event or the black tie event, like you going to go pop a bottle, you going to go have a good time, like
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
let your inhibitions go.
Exactly.
So you know how that go. Do you know at
Yeah.
the end of the night, ain't everybody, you know, is trying to have a good time. They trying to cap the night off for real.
For real.
So I can't see it. I can't imagine it.
I
I can't
can't even,
imagine it.
especially if you happen to be in a regular or consistent relationship with more than one of your partners in that open relationship. Like if I'm having sex with you on a regular scheduled program and just like I am with this person over here, and I'm thinking that me and each person got an understanding, like, yeah, why would I put that? This is just hypothetical. As for a woman, she better use some type of barrier unless she don't mind having her pH off. But
Man, what?
for the man or even for a woman who just don't have that much interest in her healthcare or whatever the case may be, it's just kind of like I could see that needing to be a boundary that's set. But again, I haven't been in that situation. I don't know. I would love for somebody who's in an open relationship to chime in because they probably would list things that you and I haven't even fathomed of yet.
Yeah, I can't fathom. Man, what type of boundaries? Maybe, um, let me know if you have something. If you let me know if you have a STD. Let me know if you are pregnant. Um, maybe
I got one to add. What about
go ahead.
finances?
Well, you said earlier though that it don't even matter because like it's dudes with no money with rotations out here,
What about
you know, because the women will have the money and
mhm, mhm.
they just like, well, he ain't good for nothing but
But
this, you
mm-hmm.
know, and since he good for that, then that's all I tolerate him for. I just gotta buy him some Chick-fil-A and he gonna fillet me, and then
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying, and then I send him on his way.
Mm-hmm.
So with the girls taking the role now, the women switching the roles up and having that mindset, it's like, where is the financial thing? Like, because I don't even think the guy who is is in the rotation of a girl, I don't think that he's not required to have any money. So I don't even think that he is requiring that she has money. Like you would have to be a smooth type of player to be, like that's what I would call like a gigolo or like a male whore. Because like Deuce Bigelow.
Right, like
Because
who don't have no bread, but using their body parts to get what they want or need in
right.
life.
and you are specifically targeting women with money,
With money, yeah.
you know? So, like that's where now I don't condone it, but that's where I see the difference between women and men doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Where the
Mm-hmm.
where and that's where I'm like, most guys don't care how much a woman, how much money she make or how much money she had. Not a guy that has his stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I'm like, if you're gonna be in that place and you are a guy who doesn't have your stuff together, you know, but you know how to screw.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's something you take pride in yourself. Oh yeah, I effed the crap out of chicks and whatever,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Like that's something you walk around bragging about. All right. Then if that's you, then I think it's sad when I see a dude that be popping shit like that
Mm-hmm.
and he with a bum ass bra,
Right.
you know. So
But
like
he
then
still
it's
got
like,
more than him. She got that roof though put over his head though. That car for his ass to drive.
yeah, she got that right there. And that's when I'm just like, that's where I've seen that more so than than the guys that, now I seen some players who, that, I had my time and I seen that, but even when you picking, like the women that you choosing to sleep with, I know for me, like I never dated a bum chick, like
Mm-hmm.
never. They might have been crazy, but
Right.
they wasn't no bums,
Right.
like they were able to provide for a family with me if our interactions, developed and created a family, if
Right.
we had a responsibility in the form of children,
Right.
you know so, but that's me picking,
Mm-hmm.
that's me picking, even though the girls will say, well, they picked you, of course y'all do, but
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, like, I've been picked and threw it back,
Right.
and said, nah, don't pick me, pick something else. I ain't what you want. I ain't, what I'm
Right.
saying? Cause you ain't, cause I ain't feeling what you want, you
Right.
know? So we not even gonna get to first base.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like I just think, like, for the women are picking and they doing it, they do that better. I think they have more of a preference when they positioning themselves to be in open relationships like that, where they looking at what the benefits are that the guy has and can offer them,
Yeah.
you know like you was talking about earlier, that with a home guy, he's the maid, and then this guy the health
Yep.
therapist, and
Yep.
then and then this one, handyman, and then the sharecropper, and you know that's more calculative than I think that than what the guys put into it. But
Yeah. I mean, and support of what you're saying too. Here's a prime example. So one time I had I guess you could say dated. Yeah, we'll use that term loosely. I had dated this guy, and during the time of us dating, we would share like stories about our experiences. But men in my world and women in his world, and he had came across a woman that was in an open marriage. Okay, she was married, but their relationship was open, and the guy that I was dating years ago, before I dated him, she had chose him to be one of the men that she was in an open relationship with. And I mean, he didn't have a damn thing to offer her. He admitted at the time. He was like, I don't know why she liked me. He was like, she just did. I always had her laughing. He was like, the pickle ain't even that big, but she used to want me to give it to her all the time. And he said that she even did as much as adding him to her line of credit as an authorized user.
Wow.
Yes. And I don't know if he literally got the card physically, or she just did it as a means to help him out on the back end to build his credit. But like, that's a prime example of a woman knows in the situation, like we said, like majority of the time where she's going out to seek. And I'm a woman and I support that theory. I'm pretty sure there's some moving with their eyes closed and their hands behind their back, but for the most part, I think, like you said, but the difference between men and women is that she's more like calculated, focused up, or more like on a plan of action.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll
Yeah, I
go.
agree. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that that's definitely what it is. With the women are more calculated in what they doing. But damn, he got to get the authorized user.
Authorized user. And see, this now, you know how they ended that open relationship ended with him, or as him being somebody that was involved in the open marriage relationship, is because back to number two, what challenges did people face in open relationship? The husband started getting jealous.
Yeah, but I mean, if they just supposed to be screwing, okay,
Where's the boundary?
then where is the boundary at? You know, like you're not supposed to be making them authorized user. Now when the bills come in, now when we log on and shit, I see, you know, Pookie on the bill
Yes.
statement, like who is this?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you know,
Right.
like nah, dog, like that. Like, what do you mean? You helping him get his credit together? So you know what I'm saying? You helping him?
Oh, he won't
Nah,
be around.
that's
This is a
why.
future situation. Yeah.
That's what it seems like. It seems like, okay, the things that we have set up and worked for our quality of life now. You know, now
Yeah.
you're sharing those. You know, you already sharing whatever else y'all doing in the bedroom. Like you already sharing. You already done took the coochie out the house and
Yeah.
gave it away. You know,
Yep.
so but I think that that's still the most sucker shit ever
Mm-hmm.
because you let your wife go out and give her coochie away, but now you mad when she make the dude the authorized user on the credit card.
I mean,
Like,
I listen, I ain't in it, but I
like,
feel like I would be mad too. I don't even know this man that the man or the
like, come
woman, but
on, man.
I almost feel
You
like she
know,
violated the boundary, and I don't even know what the hell the boundaries was.
I'm just saying, like that's wild as shit. Cause I mean, how you going? I don't know, man. I'm like, I would have rather you let him be an authorized user, and it's just like a little young fella that we trying to help get his credit and shit together, and and that would have had to be a family member because automatically it's like red flag. You must be doing so. Y'all got something else going on that you add them as an authorized user. So nah, none of that.
So
none
that's
of
where a boundary
none
would
of
be
that
set
is
in an open
open.
relationship. That's
None of that is open. Like
you
that's
see,
crazy.
it's
That's
almost
crazy,
like
man.
you said, when you think about it in a interpersonal deep level, it's almost like, what did we get to? How do why they know? How do we not know that one of the significant others did everything to help build that wife credit? You get what I'm saying? Maybe he kicked out or paid off school loans or did something for his wife so her shit could go up, you know? Or
Yeah, I'm sure he did because it was a husband and
yeah,
wife. That's what I'm saying. I'm sure that they had to work overtime because obviously I'm sure that uh that she was probably older than him.
yes,
Okay.
yes,
I'm almost not even knowing them people. You know what I'm
right,
saying? I'm sure that woman in that situation, that wife in that situation was older. And they
yeah,
got to that point. They got to that point where she was bored or whatever the case was, or tired of regular, so she
yeah,
wanted something different.
yeah.
And then the husband didn't want to throw away what they had built and worked for, and then said, okay, go ahead, do your thing, but you can do that. But I believe they ain't discussed no boundaries,
So
and
that
and at least adding your what they
boy
call it.
toy.
Not the it's another one they use. Oh man, it's another one. Your not your side piece. Your
Uh, what?
Oh man, it's another one. I can't even call it because I don't even be on it like that. But it's a with your little side piece, not putting your side piece on our credit cards. Like that shit sounds so.
So I think here on Love Speak, you and I can agree that a boundary in an open relationship
That
would
shit
be
sounds. That
not
shit sound like
everybody
a
should have the
movie.
same financial freedom as maybe each partner, like across the board. Maybe that's the
Nah,
boundary.
nah, hell nah. That is. Oh no, that just sound like a novella. That's
Yeah,
what that shit sound like.
exactly.
That shit do not
Exactly.
sound real.
And
I'm
I mean,
like,
and honestly, I'm like shocked too because I'm not, excuse me, men, this is not an attack on y'all, but I'd expect that dumbass behavior from a man. Like, I
to
wouldn't
put the to
expect
put this to put the little
the
side chick.
side joint on the credit to get it right, not for a woman
Oh
to do
man,
that. But to
that's
each his
yeah.
own. So to number three, in open relationships, what boundaries are set? I guess that has to be between you and your partner. And if you don't set none, you'll mess around and have one of the mates on your credit card. So
For sure. So look, y'all, we are discussing open relationships tonight, y'all. Tell us what you think and let your love speak in the comments. Our full question tonight: are there any rewards with being in an open relationship? What you think? Are there any rewards
I
with
mean, I'm
being in the
sure there
open?
is. Like, I only choose to do certain things that I feel like I'm going to get a reward from or a positive outcome from. Um, so I'm pretty sure for somebody, there's a reward for being in an open relationship. For a man or a woman that likes to have time to themselves or doesn't like to have the responsibility of a mate or doesn't like to cook 7 days a week or don't like to wash laundry, all throughout the week or something. They may have a reward by saying to them, oh, I get alone time. I get a break for the next day or two, or I, I don't know what might be trash to somebody else might be treasure to somebody else.
Right. That's what they say.
Right. So I don't know what the reward might be, but I'm pretty sure there got to be some type of reward from it.
Mm. Well,
What's your thought?
I'm thinking that one is variety, you know, um, personal pleasure, because if you, if you can date whatever whatever you like, you can, because you get to go out and you get to pick it, so if it's like, if I want, you know, brown skin, light skin, chocolate, you know, any flavors that I want, the world is your oyster,
Yeah.
you know. So, or your ice cream part, your Baskin Robbins.
The 31 flavors of that movie.
Yeah,
Raspberry, grape, cherry. Come and get this phone.
uh,
Okay.
right, yeah. So so you picking what you want. So
Right.
I'm like, that seems to be a benefit. Um, Not having to commit to anything because it's open.
Yeah.
So people who don't like accountability,
Mm.
I think that that's a way, because you don't really have to be, like the story that you just shared with the wife and the side piece and the husband. When you look at it, it's like she really didn't think that she was going to have to be accountable for that, or that wasn't a problem.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that became a little bit more selfish in the act versus just, it was already selfish to already say, you know I want to have my cake and eat it too. But
Mm-hmm.
that's what the husband chose. He chose to agree to that. That's their business.
Mm-hmm.
But it was already selfish to be like, I don't want to work on this anymore, or this area of our relationship. I want to try to go and get it from somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So Now to add another level of selfishness with it, where it's like, well, hell, I help build our credit too, so I can put an authorized user, you know. You know,
I don't condone violence, but
you know, but I think that that accountability, um is one thing, is like a benefit that you don't have to have it. You don't have to have the accountability. You don't have to have commitment, because I can't see how you being committed to a relationship, to, when you say in particular, I don't even care if you as a long term partnership, or if you've gotten married. You all have something that relationship is built on. Okay, whatever those things are that relationship is built on, then having an open relationship means that you don't have to establish any foundation between you and that other person, other than the fact that, we just gonna be boning, and that's it. We're not gonna be, like, we gonna hang out with each other, we gonna be cool with each other, but when we don't feel like being bothered, we ain't gotta be bothered. And I can go be bothered with somebody else that I feel like being bothered with, and I can just kick it with you whenever we feel like kicking it. So what's the relationship built on? It's only just kicking it when I'm in the mood to kick it with you. Like, that's shallow. That is not gonna last
yeah,
at all. And I mean, a lot of times people not looking for it to last. They just looking for a good time.
right, exactly.
They're not looking for anything lasting. So I think that I wouldn't call that a reward, but I would definitely say that is a reward if if you're a person who does not value having something, a foundation in in a relationship.
Yeah.
I think that is a reward. And the variety is a reward. All these things are just selfish things, I think, because they don't require you to have consideration for the other person. You know,
Yeah.
like you said, the jealousy, those things that we talked about earlier. When you're in a relationship that is not open, you consider that. You should. Some people don't. Some people still pieces of shit. But you should, though. You should consider that, because you care about that person, and you want them to care about you the same way.
Right.
So, I think we said one time, like, I cheated because you cheated, right?
I
so
did.
it's like them two wrongs didn't make a right. It just really made people more bitter towards each other.
For sure.
And it almost it's like it almost would have been better if it was just an open relationship, because then there wouldn't have been no feelings involved. That's another thing that I think that's a reward to people. I think they don't have to have no feelings involved.
I mean, I do agree with that statement, but I think that statement should be tread lightly, because unfortunately you can go into it with the whole mindset that you ain't having no feelings involved. But once you start the physical aspect of it, and especially if it ain't no barrier between the two, then naturally somebody might gravitate towards feeling that we agreed that wasn't supposed to be there,
I think that's natural for all women. But
so what you saying? A man can't get attached after it go down?
I'm saying not feelings, no.
Oh, I got some people to introduce you to then. A few men I know.
Yeah, not feelings. Nah.
So what is it called if it ain't feelings?
They like the way that thing hit. That's it.
They was liking that since day one, probably. But when they start developing the feelings, that's when the attitude shift changes. That's when the
Nah, but
behavior comes out
no,
differently. Like,
it's not off the hit. It's when you start I know for guys,
yeah.
I don't know, cause some of these so, nowadays is this emo thing going on, so I don't know what's going on with that, right? But like the more you spend time and you get to know the person,
Okay.
to me is how and I'll say that's how I develop feelings.
All right, I
You
get
know,
that.
the
Yeah.
more I get to know you, because the sex was easy. You saw me, I'm handsome. Of course
Right.
you wanted to smash me. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So that's okay.
Hmm. That's okay.
That's okay. You know, but that's the easy part.
Yeah.
You know, that's the easy part. I mean, unless I let you down, you know what
Right.
I'm saying? But I don't have enough money for somebody to want to smash me again just because, because I got money,
Right.
you
Right.
know? So that's not my experience in life.
Right.
So it is the communication and getting to know the person. And that's when I think guys develop feelings, because they're now beginning to learn who the woman is as a person, getting to know who they are, the essence of that woman, you know, more so than, just the draws. Like, because once you do that, like, yeah, there will be an attachment. You're gonna like doing it because you pursued it,
Right.
you know. Um, it's just people's intentions, because some people be their intent be just to get that, and then after they get that, it's no more thrill. It's no more. They don't care about the essence. They don't care about learning you. They don't care. It was the chase that they wanted to get,
Yeah.
and then once that chase happened, now
The
it's
thrill
no
is
more
gone.
of a challenge.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, but that's what a hoe do. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like that's what a man hoe do. Like he like, oh yeah, you gonna let me fuck? You
Yeah.
gonna let me fuck? You know, it's not trying to be like, you know what? I really like her. I really
Yeah.
want to get to know her. I want to see what she got going on and things like that, because you see something in the person. Of course, you see the ass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you
But
gonna see that, but
right.
you just like maybe you had an interaction with her, and she seemed sweet in a way,
Mm,
and you wanted to examine that more so,
mm,
and you were available to. You wasn't dealing with nobody else, you know. So you put that
mm.
time and that energy into it, but you had genuine intent. Your intent was to, to be with that person, to develop a relationship, to develop feelings, not to just, conquer, and now I'm on to the next.
Right.
Ah, you gave me some what's that saying? I call it the loser saying. Um, well, I fucked you.
Hmm.
Okay.
Oh, just that phrase by itself. Well, I fucked you.
Well, I fucked you.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Right.
and I always encourage young ladies to not give up the draw so fast, because
That it.
that's the position that they put themselves in. For a guy to be like, you know, well, I fucked you though,
Yep. And one thing you can't do is unfuck them.
and one thing you can't do is unfuck 'em. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
And
So, so sometimes, like guys be trying to have that, you know, like because they knew they wasn't worth nothing else,
mm-hmm.
and they was able to manipulate their way into some,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
naive coochie,
Yep.
and
Yep.
then now the young lady is disappointed and she can't take that back,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know. And
Mm-hmm.
then piece of shit dudes gonna be like, well, at least well,
Exactly.
call you out your name and all types of shit,
Yeah.
and then their
And
goal
it,
wasn't never love, and our goal here is to get love right at the Love Speaks
exactly.
podcast. Make sure y'all hit
Exactly.
that like button.
You
So
got that
yeah,
right.
Are there any rewards? I mean, I guess that's rewards for people who like that type of shit.
Right.
So our fifth and final, last but not least question tonight, y'all, is: does an open relationship challenge traditional views of love and commitment? Does an
Yes.
open relationship challenge traditional views of love and commitment?
Okay. So, yes, number 5 is a very, I'm going to say, tricky question. Okay. And the reason why I'm going to label it tricky is because it really depends on what tribe you pose this question to. Because there are some people of some age ranges and brackets and beliefs that are going to say it was very traditional for a man to have multiple wives. Right. And then time went on, and then we went into this whole monogamy thing, and now time is still going, and we're getting away from the monogamy thing, right? So what is even traditional really depends on who you're speaking with. You talking to a Muslim man, it's traditional for him to have multiple wives. You talking to an Indian person, it might be traditional for them to be placed in a relationship versus choosing a relationship. So what is really traditional? Okay, that's really why I say the question is tricky. Now, I will say doing anything opposite than what was instilled in you may be considered going against traditional views. But if what was instilled in you don't work for you or allow you to optimize love to the fullest potential, why would I want you to pursue what was instilled in you just because you were taught that from somebody growing up, but it ain't working out for you as an adult? But the biggest thing that I feel like, or the biggest complex with this question is that how can I pose this? I don't know how to pose it, but I'm going to say this. If we go to question number 2, again, just sorry to go back and say, what challenges do you think people face in an open relationship? Let's just say, when I didn't mention this, when one of the parties is ready to go back to monogamy. Okay. Right? Because I've heard of people do this in open relationships or swinging relationships or marriages. They start off one way, then to put some excitement in it, or because things are fizzling down, they go into this open relationship thing. It works out for 5 or 10 years. But next thing you know, one person wants to go back to their roots of their tradition, of what they were instilled with, what they practiced for a long time before they start jumping off the deep end. So does the open relationship challenge traditional views of love and commitment? I feel like the answer is absolutely.
Okay.
What's your thoughts behind it? I mean, with us feeling like on this particular subject, we're kind of much on the same wave. How do you feel about that question now?
Well, you made some very, very, very interesting points. And you said something about a person going back to what they were raised or taught, or what they were surrounded with in their environment. Now, this the thing. If they were in open relationships and now they want to get married, or if that was the thing, should they body count be considered? Should the person that they trying to marry ask them like, well, damn, how many people you been with? How many people you done been out here? You done been out here in the world just free loving it.
Mm-hmm.
So now, what are they coming back with? Are they coming back with something? Are they coming back clean? With a clean bless you. With clean blood work? Are they coming back with clean blood work?
Right.
If they coming back with clean blood work, then it may be consideration. But then it's like, okay, this is thing called pair bonding. And a lot of times people have like that lady, that older lady who you was talking about earlier in the show tonight. If she's still old and by herself, but she still got different dudes, she can't. She lost her ability to pair bond.
Mm. Definition
So
of the word, please.
um, pair bond. Let me pull
Or
it up
or
real.
a live example where I can understand the definition.
Um, let's see real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up real quick.
I
Because we
know
did a whole
para. I can understand the prefix on the word. Bond, I understand that. So I'm going to say be able to like make unity with somebody.
no, we did a whole show on it, and and I don't want to not quote it correctly.
Okay.
Um, because we doing it so pair bonding pair bonding is um is a strong affinity that develops between a mating pair, often leading to production and the rearing of a family.
Right.
And when they say that having multiple interactions with different people, like then you're constantly comparing,
Mm-hmm.
whether you know it or not.
Makes sense though.
Okay, and then that constant comparison, it leaves room for you to never be satisfied or always be looking for something
More.
um outside of that relationship.
Mm.
So that's why, having monogamous relationships is
Mm-hmm.
always encouraged
Mm-hmm.
versus those things where it's like, okay, I'm with this guy. So now I'm with this guy and he's going through, or I'm with this girl.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm with this girl now.
Mm-hmm.
And we going through this and we going through this and now then I'm with this girl. And then we going through
Yes.
this and we going through and now I'm with this girl. And now we going through this and now I'm with this girl. And now I'm with this girl. And now I'm with this girl.
Oh
So now
God.
so now I get this one girl,
Mm-hmm.
all right, and I like A, B, and C, all right. But let's say I like A, B, C, and D. But then when
Mm-hmm.
we get to E, I have a problem with E. But because I have a problem with E and my past experience is just to go find E somewhere
Right.
else,
Okay, I understand you.
I don't know how to communicate that I have a problem with E and work with that person so that way I can get A, B, C, D, and E.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I constantly have a problem with it. I might just try to suppress it and try to ignore it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still gonna be comparing it. I'm still gonna be thinking about it. I'm still gonna be never satisfied with it. And it's always gonna cause some type of tension or friction or something in a relationship where
Mm-hmm.
where we can't coexist peacefully,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
So so looking at the open relationships, that's what I see is the biggest thing that is the destructive mechanism of it when a person wants to come back to trying to be in a monogamous relationship. I'm not saying they can't do it, but I'm saying like you have to study yourself first,
Yeah.
because if you were a person who likes that variety, then you're gonna carry that into your old age
Yeah.
until you get tired of it. You have to find out why you're tired of it. You have to find not in a selfish, I mean, hey, maybe even in a selfish way.
Yeah.
But you have to realize that, like, if you're gonna be with somebody in a traditional way,
Mm-hmm.
whatever that traditional thing is,
Mm-hmm.
if you're gonna be with somebody in a traditional way, then you can't expect for them to not want to know about you and not want to learn about you.
Right.
You know, and they have to be okay in their head saying, okay, well, you got to pass,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
no problem. But
Mm-hmm.
are you done with that?
Right. Okay.
You know, and if they ask you, well, why did you like that? Why did you like doing that?
Right.
You know, then you should be mature enough to be able to answer them,
Yeah.
not deflect like, why we gotta talk about that? We move.
Right.
No, because I want to make sure that I'm in it to win it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be with you
Yeah.
for you till we die.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. I
So
support
like when you look for me, I'm there. You ain't gotta look for me.
but
I'm
nobody.
here.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you ain't gotta ask me is the bills paid, because I like to keep a roof over my head. I like to keep lights and shit on. I like to keep the refrigerator full. So like that shit done. You
Yeah.
know, and you can count on that the way I count on myself to do that for
Right.
me first,
Mm-hmm.
for the benefit of
Mm-hmm.
our family,
Mm-hmm.
our unity,
Mm-hmm.
us together, our collective,
Mm-hmm.
right, our partnership. So you have to, like, then that person should be able to be willing to communicate with that person and be like, hey, hey, shit, that's what I was going through. I was trying to do this, boom, 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 whatever,
Yeah.
whatever, whatever. Fair enough. Are
Yeah.
you done with that? Because they
Right.
need to know, are you done? Because you might still, well, do you still got some, you got somebody you can call right now and then pull up and drop us off a couple bands? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Right. No, for real.
like for real. Like if you got it, do you have to screw him to get it? Or is he just a
Right.
paymaster? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like for real. Like, and that's what I'm talking about, where it's like, if that's your partner, you know, if that's your homie for real, that's who you in love with, that's who
Your
you gonna
homie,
do
lover,
life
friend.
with,
Yeah.
you know, then you need to be able to have them type of conversations.
Yeah.
So having them open relationships, I don't think is a problem. You know, it's challenging
Mm-hmm.
if when you come back to that traditional commitment,
Mm-hmm.
based on your example, that you know in yourself why you was doing what you was doing, you understand it to yourself, where you can explain it to somebody and y'all can be like, okay, cool, and now this where we at, but this what I'm on now. That's where I
Yeah.
was, because everybody, like, I'm not on none of the same shit I was on when I was young.
Right.
You
Yep.
know, and I
Nope.
and I could be and I got homeboys and stuff who remember me from that.
Mm-hmm.
I got people who just wasn't even my homeboy, but just associates who remember my name from that.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't on that now. We on this.
Right. No, I could
You
definitely
know?
tell that you're not on that now, because the way that you were able to fluidly break down how you not excuse that behavior, but accept that lifestyle from somebody prior to, but
Yeah.
you look for and you go through the process correctly. Like, I haven't been in an open relationship and ready to convert back to monogamy, but the way that you approach and handle it, the questions you ask, the reasons you're explaining, I would think that would make for a successful transition back into that. And I feel like so many people fail to do that end up going into that lifestyle and then wanting to change up or wanting to say, hey, I want a parabond now, versus multi-bond or whatever the proper term is
Multibond, right?
or whatever.
They want a Voltron. They was Voltron in this shit, and
Right.
and
And another
Autobot.
before we wrap up question 5 real quick, because I know you probably had something to say for this one too, because this is another one. How about this? How about the people where tradition, like I said, it depends on who you talk to. Now, me and you don't live in this person's household. We not associated with their lifestyle, but we'll just use what we've been given via social media and the internet and things of that nature. We'll use Yaya Mayweather, for example. And again, what works for other people don't necessarily make it wrong. It just might be different than what we would personally choose. But
Right.
somebody like her who has the baby by young boy, NBA young boy, which I happen to just his music just does it for me for some reason. But
Yeah.
I like that Y in music.
Yeah.
But okay, he has multiple women, multiple baby mothers. But I don't know what their relationship or their situation was, but she comes from a exampled household where that is traditional.
You talking about to have all the women all over the house?
Yeah, like her father
Yeah.
was a man who very much gave that example of it being regular or normal or his tradition. And then you got her mom, which I think is beautiful that she still is able to support Floyd, and they can be an item for the grandchild that is brought up between the two of them. But let's be real here. Like, is Yaya getting the example of her mother living her own life as well with her new partner and seeing what that monogamy looks like inside of that household, regardless of what her father is doing? Or is she seeing her mother being subject to her father's behavior and falling in line and never ventured out to go get her own man and try to do her own monogamous thing?
I think you pretty much gave the answer. That I think the
Exactly.
B part B,
Yeah.
um, because I saw I don't know what it was. It was some type of show online or something where Floyd was going through his house and showing the movie theater, and I swear he had a girl in like every room, you
Yes.
know. And I know he ain't just get on that because Floyd been Floyd for a while. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so um, so her mother, you know, I don't know how many children he has, how many baby mothers he have, because I don't keep up
Yeah.
with Money Mayweather. But I do know about Yaya and being NBA YoungBoy's baby mother, one of his many baby mothers.
Mm-hmm.
And all the rumors associated and foolishness and stuff going on with that. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at it. That's why I don't think Floyd's disappointed because he understands the role that the role, the image that he
He laid
set.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I think he wanted better for his daughter. But I mean, and then she went and had a baby, so he
Mm-hmm.
can't deny his grandson now,
Mm-mm.
and his dad is, a multimillionaire, hip
Mm-hmm.
hop,
Mm-hmm.
generational talent. So like I don't know, like when I look at that, I think that that is the normal for them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I
Yeah.
think if when she grows up, I don't think it's over for her.
Right. Me
Um,
neither.
I think maybe in 10, 15 years, I don't know how old she is now. I think she'll mature and you may see her in something that looks a little bit more um
Monogamous.
non-toxic.
So yeah. Yeah, we'll go with
Yeah.
that. Yeah. I like
Yeah,
that.
non-toxic.
Yeah.
But I think in that lifestyle, with with the young people nowadays, the younger people nowadays, and how toxic is normal and open relationships, and I don't care, I beat them other baby mama's ass and all that type of wild shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like,
Whoop
you
that
know,
trick.
yeah, like all that going on, I think that who knows? Maybe if young boy ever stops selling records, you know, he can do a VH1 show, Me and My Baby Mamas, you know, or some shit. Who
You ain't
knows
lying.
what that'll turn into, or you know. So I think that it's just part of that culture, that narrative, and you know, I think that was an excellent reference, but I think that it is. I think that that's normal.
That's a traditional view for them.
For Yaya, you know, I think that that's
Yeah.
normal. If yeah, you with your mother, but when you with your dad, you got, you know, this
Yeah.
aunt, that aunt, this aunt, that aunt, this Miss so and so, Miss, you know,
Yeah.
like you got Miss Ashley, you got Miss Miss New
Yeah.
York, Miss Tennessee, Miss Vermont,
For
Miss,
real.
you know, like
It's
she
all
asking,
at the
like,
concerts.
you
Yeah.
know, like she going through the house and shit, like forget the chef. You know what I'm saying? She just like Miss Tennessee. I want some cookies and shit.
Yes.
And then, you know, then Miss New York walk in and it's like it's Miss New York. Hey, I
Come
want
curl my
some.
head.
Yeah, come.
Like,
I want some braids, Miss New York. You know,
yeah.
so that's the way Floyd had it, and that's the way, you know, that's an example he set even for young boy to you know, because young black males having money like that,
Hmm.
you know, the image and the value is not of marriage. It's not of one, of just being with one woman and having, you know, like
Like
Ice Cube
Coco.
been
Yeah.
with his wife Ice T, been with Coco
Yeah. Or
forever, you know
Snoop.
what I mean? Or Snoop and Shanti. Yeah, you
Yep.
know, like that's not what the people wanna, they don't value that, you
Mm-mm.
know.
I don't
Um
know. But
yeah,
yeah.
so definitely when looking at do open relationships challenge traditional views of love and commitment? Yeah, they do, and they have an effect, you know, but hopefully we was
Mhm.
able to share some of the things that could reverse it, you know, or could help it not be so challenging if, you know,
If they
people,
want to indulge in it.
yeah, if you've been an open relationship person, and you know, it's really just about establishing that honesty and then that trust, and then whatever that platform is that we're gonna have for that relationship, and then
Hmm.
um honoring it, and you know, and making sure that you get up every single day and work at that and make sure that's the
Hmm.
foundation of your relationship, you know.
I agree.
Yep. So tell us what y'all think in the chat and let your love speak in the comments. We went through our questions tonight. Why do you think people choose to open relationships versus monogamous? What challenges do you think people face in open relationships? What boundaries do you think are set in open relationships? Are there any rewards with being in an open relationship? Does an open relationship challenge traditional views of love? We would like to know what you think in the comments below. Let us know and let your love speak. And yeah, another great conversation. I hope it was spicy enough for y'all.
Yeah, that was juicy for me. That was good.
You know, and hopefully we was able to shed some light. You know, we not experts in open relationships. We not relationship experts at all. You
At
know,
all, yeah.
we be trying to figure this shit out ourselves.
We just
Okay,
had a couple relationships in our lives.
you know. So that's it. You know, and just try to share some of them experiences with y'all and our opinion on shit. You know. So we appreciate everybody for pulling up. And once again, make sure to like and share this video and subscribe to the channel so when we go live, you never miss an episode or a chance to let your love speak.
Right.
And we want everybody to have a peaceful, positive, and productive weekend. It's the weekend, y'all. Get out and do something fun. And we will see y'all next time right here on the Love Speak podcast. I'm Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV, always with the baddest of the baddies, Billy Badass Joe.
Good night, world.
Good night, y'all. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
This whole publication is all about going from nowhere to somewhere, right? Being able to stand on something so that you can travel in peace, right? So bksoulfarm.com, 1016, 160 self-sustainability. Jump on the list and get yourself together, right? Because it is irresponsible to not even know what responsibility means. So get yourself together, food, clothing, and shelter, protection of that, support your interests, and live.
Some say that art imitates life, but we say that life is art. So visit the DBCHEFTV gift shop and get 15% off of your next masterpiece of fashion. How do you get there? Simply tap the link in the description. Exchange insights Sundays at 8 p.m. East Coast time with the Cigar Panel, smoking on words like two big nerds, hosted by DBCHEFTV and BK Soul Farm at Cigar Sundays on YouTube. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so when they go live, you never miss an episode of Cigar Sundays Live.
Fans in the Stands is gaining momentum thanks to our viewers. Our crew bring the facts with humor, keeping our viewers entertained and laughing. Join us each and every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's Fans in the Stands on YouTube.
At the Veteran Kettle Podcast, we thank you for your service, support, and sacrifice to our country. Listen to real stories of adversity and triumph as we give our best to honor our vets. Subscribe today and watch episodes now streaming on YouTube at TVK Podcast, The Veteran Kettle. Love ain't always easy, and we won't stop until we get it right. So bring that ass to the Love Speak Podcast. Subscribe today and let your love speak at TLS Podcast. The Love Speak, now streaming on YouTube.
Sign up for the newsletter and shop merch and clothing at www.dbcheftv.com.